He hadn't touched the rotary phone in years. It sat near the hallway closet, its beige casing yellowed from time and silence. The cord, once springy and tight, now hung like a lifeless vine. For 18 years it had never made a sound. No ring, no dial tone, not even a mechanical hum. Just dead silence. That phone belonged to Elise, his older sister. The one who used to spend hours talking late into the night, whispering secrets, laughing softly when she thought no one was awake. She was the light in their quiet, rural home. After she passed in 2005, the phone became a monument. Untouched, unspoken. Aaron never had the heart to throw it away. Every year he'd clean around it, gently wipe the dust off, straighten the cord, like it still mattered, like something sacred lingered in the plastic. But on that night, January 14th, the phone rang. One long, shrill burst. He dropped the cup of tea he was holding. It shattered on the floor, hot liquid splashing against his socks, but he didn't move. Another ring. His hand moved instinctively, not even knowing why. He hadn't heard that sound in nearly 2 decades, but it was unmistakable. Elise's ringtone, the one she changed herself back when phones like these had optional tones built into the wall jack. He answered, "Hello?" No sound. But on the other end, a breathing, faint, uneven. Then static, a pop, and finally a whisper, "I'm sorry I didn't make it back. I never meant to leave you alone." Aaron froze, his breath caught in his throat, as if the voice on the line had stolen the air from the room. He stared into the dim hallway, every nerve buzzing. The line was still open, but there was nothing else. No static, no dial tone, just silence. And then the line clicked dead. He slowly lowered the receiver. His hands trembled, heart pounding so loudly he thought it would drown out any sound around him. He stood there for what felt like an hour. Eventually he sat down at the kitchen table. He didn't sleep that night. The next day, Aaron went to the attic. Boxes he hadn't opened in years sat like sentinels, watching him as he pulled down dusty photo albums, cassette, and Elise's old journals. He found her tape recorder, still intact, still loaded. He pressed play. It clicked, word, silence. Then a voice, her voice. "Aaron, if you ever find this, maybe that means I didn't make it, or maybe I just couldn't say goodbye." It wasn't a message he remembered. In fact, he was certain this tape didn't exist in the years after her death. He had gone through all of them, every single one, but it was undeniably her. And what was more chilling, she mentioned things, recent things. His job layoff, his dog's name, a book he'd read last summer. She couldn't have known that in 2005. For days, Aaron didn't leave the house. He checked the phone every morning. It never rang again. Until 3 days later, ring, ring. This time he answered faster. Same static, same breathy tension. Then, the box in the basement, behind the green trunk. "I left something there. I was afraid to tell you." He ran downstairs like a child chasing monsters in reverse. Behind the green trunk, a place he'd never bothered to check. He found a small wooden box, inside a key, a necklace, and a folded piece of yellow paper. "I didn't die like they said. I didn't fall. I ran." That sentence cracked open a memory buried so deep it felt like fiction. Elise had gone missing in 2005 during a hiking trip with friends. The authorities said she slipped off the ridge and her body was lost in the river below. But Aaron never believed it. The search had been fast. Too fast. But this note was in her handwriting, dated. Dried tear stains wrinkled the corner. The phone rang again. This time the voice was clearer, less distant, more certain. "They lied, Aaron. All of them. I tried to come back, but I was being watched." Aaron sat on the basement floor, knees pulled to his chest, staring at the note in his hand. His sister hadn't died in an accident. She had escaped something, or someone, and had tried to tell him. All those years ago. The police, the search party, the closed case, none of them ever mentioned foul play. But Elise's message said she had been watched. Who was watching her? Why didn't she come back? That night, he couldn't stay in the house. He packed a bag, took the box, the letter, the recorder, and drove. Nowhere specific, just away. The silence of the phone now felt more terrifying than the sound. But halfway through the dark mountain pass, the radio turned on by itself. Crackling, static, and then, "You found it. Good. But they'll come now. They know you've heard me." His hands clenched the wheel, the headlights flickered. Every shadow on the road looked like it moved. At a roadside motel, he called an old friend from Elise's past, someone she had once dated, someone who disappeared from her life just a few months before her accident. That man, Caleb, answered after the third ring. "Aaron, is that you? You knew, didn't you? About Elise? About what happened?" A long pause. She was working on something. She found something she shouldn't have. About those tests they were doing at the Ridgewell facility after she told me. She vanished. I was told to forget her. Or else. Aaron's stomach dropped. He'd heard about Ridgewell, an old military research compound 30 miles west. It had shut down in 2006, around the time Elise disappeared. But no one ever said why. The next day, Aaron drove there. The gates were rusted shut, the sign half swallowed by overgrowth. But the lock on the side fence had already been cut. He entered. Inside, the lab rooms were stripped, desks overturned, drawers empty. But in the back storage room, he found a locker marked with her name, E. Hawthorne. Inside, a stack of research notes, a flash drive, and an ID badge. Elise had worked there secretly. The flash drive had only one file. It was an audio recording. Elise's voice. "This is my last message. If you're hearing this, I didn't make it out." They were experimenting with frequency resonance. Voices carried through long-wave static. "I heard someone. I think they were using me to test memory transference. If I disappear, tell Aaron. Tell him I tried to come back." Aaron sat in his car for hours, playing the recording on loop. It wasn't just a phone call. Elise's voice had survived. Through the frequency experiments she had tried to expose, she had somehow embedded her memory, her consciousness, into the resonance, into the phone, into the house. And now, she was fading. The phone never rang again. 3 months later, Aaron turned the attic into a memorial. He left the phone exactly where it was, dusted, polished, protected. He wrote everything down, her notes, her messages, the flash drive. He sent it anonymously to a journalist. The story ran under the headline, "The Voice That Wouldn't Die, Inside Ridgewell's Secret Experiment." No one could prove it. But Aaron didn't care. He had heard her. Not once, not twice, but enough.